May do something dreadful, like hurt herself.
Will she get better soon?
I don't know. Perhaps. Haven't you got something to paint your stomach? Because I've got some urgent business to sort out before dinner. And remember, don't mention this to your mother. It raises the subject, Rebecca.
Very well. I know when I'm not wanted.
Oh, you're back, are you? I was thinking of sending out a search party. Good ride?
Yes, terrific. King seems to have gotten over his lameness. Perhaps he has it too easy.
Oh, you ride very well. You obviously take after your mum. She has a very good seat. Perhaps this new horse your mum sent you by will allow me to have a ride with her.
Mummy's getting another horse? What's happened to King? You can't send King away. He's like family. Are you sure?
Oh, dear horses, Miss Alice. The only place King will go will be to the paddock or his box when the weather's cold.
Daddy's not awfully keen on spending money on horses or their health and welfare. He keeps saying there are no funds for fillies to be frivolous.
Well, your mum's told me different. Perhaps he's sorted out his business and wants to cheer your mum up. I know it's not my place to say, but she's looked real sad these past few weeks. She always used to have such a beautiful smile.
I know.
You know what? I've known your mum for more than 20 years on and off, and I've never seen her so sad, except on one occasion.
When was that?
A long time ago, miss, before you were born.
And?
Someone died and she was very close to your mum. It would never have worked out though, so perhaps it was for the best. I'll tell you about it one day. He always used to say, what little we know of this great place
Should fill us with humble grace. Who used to say that? Because Mummy's always saying it. Is it from a book or a poem or something?
Maybe. Right, let's get King brushed down and ready for the night. He's earned his nosh today. Come on, King, there's a good boy.
Smithy, are your parents still alive?
No, miss. My dad died when I was 12 and then my mum 6 years later.
So, what did you do then?
Well, I went to live with my aunt in Exeter. We didn't see eye to eye, so I left after a few months. Got married, got myself a son, and then went to fight a Bosch.
So, you're an orphan too?
I suppose so. Never thought about it much. Why?
John is an orphan. His dad was killed at Dunkirk. Then his mother died of blood poisoning or something when he was 14. But he was terribly lucky.
You call that lucky?
The master of the West Norfolk Hunt adopted him. Something to do with the debt he owed to John's father. There's nothing awful about being an orphan, is there?
No, I suppose not. Look, miss, are you still fretting over that spat you had with your dad earlier today? He probably didn't want you to get involved with someone too early and regret it later. I'm sure he meant well.
No, he didn't. You weren't there. You didn't hear what he said or how he said it. He hates me and I hate him.
Now, miss, you don't mean that. It'll be all right later. Both you and your dad will have forgotten about it by this evening.
He might, I certainly won't.
Ah, there you are. Good ride?
Lovely. When I'm out there, I lose myself. Nothing worries me. All my cares disappear. Come on, let's walk. I want to talk to you.
Don't worry about me, miss. I'll finish brushing King down and put him back in his stall.
Nay!
boy. Back in your stable.
Well done. Well then, what do you want to talk to me about?
I've been thinking. Perhaps if we both go see Daddy, he'll realise that we love each other terribly, and you could tell that jockey is a decent job.
Well, it is.
With good prospects, and you're learning more and more about horses every day. In fact, you could tell that soon you might be a head lad at Major Horse, and then perhaps stable manager, and then...
Oh, steady on. I might want to be head lad someday, but stable manager? I don't think so. Anyway, why would your father care what I want to be? He doesn't like me, he's made that quite clear. Think I'm beneath his daughter.
I'm sure he doesn't. Daddy just doesn't understand. Look, you need to show him that even as an orphan you've done well.
Even as an orphan? What's that got to do with anything?
Oh, I'm sorry, John. I didn't mean to sound the way I said it.
It's all right. I'll forgive you just once.
John, what did your mother die of? I was trying to explain to Smithy about what happened to your parents, but I realised I didn't know how your poor mother died.
Why have you been talking about me to Smithy?
Oh, John, don't get upset. It's just that Smithy's a jolly good listener. Like the grandfather I never had. Smithy always has lots of advice.
Talk to him about this a lot, do you?
Oh no, John, not like that. It's just that... Oh, John, I'm sorry.
That's the second time. You're making a habit of this.
Yes, I know, I'm sorry.
Alice,
So what did happen to your poor mother?
she died of blood poisoning. I've told you this.
No, not what she died of, but how did she die?
In agony. Have you know?
John, I didn't mean how did she die, but what caused her blood poisoning.
I know. I'm sorry. I shouldn't have said that. My mother died because the local quack sold her some fake penicillin. Damn bloody expensive, no bloody good. And by the time we realised it, it was too late. We sent for the doctor and told him what we thought of his fake medicine.
Oh, John!
He went as white as a sheet and tried to tell my mother that it wasn't his fault. Said it was all he could get with the war and all that. He said it wasn't his fault, it was the suppliers. Not the chemists, the suppliers' fault. Until then I thought you could only get medicine from the chemists. Bloody black marketers, which have just shot them, and down, you know.
Oh, I'm terribly sorry, and this time I mean it. I shouldn't have asked.
It's all right. You won't know. Come on, I'll go see if I can speak with your father.
Come on, Mary, put your back into it. You're not ill. You're just going to have a baby. Women in my day used to work right to the end, have their babies and then be back on duty an hour or so later. You youngsters, you don't know the meaning of hard work.
Please, Mrs. Taylor, I'm doing my best.
But your best is not good enough.
It's the best I can do in my condition.
Well, you shouldn't have got yourself in that condition. Does the father know? I bet he was surprised when you told him your good news. Then he ran a mile, called the first bus out of here, never to be seen again. Men, they're all the same, and I should know.
Well, you're wrong. He didn't run a mile. In fact, he wants to marry me. So there, he's a good man.
Oh, so when's the wedding? You'll need to have it soon. Otherwise you'll look like a great fat plum pudding waddling down the aisle in a dress 4 sizes too small.
It'll be soon, you watch. Just as soon as he's told his what?
Told his wife? Is that what you were going to say?
Mind your own business.
You stupid girl. You don't believe that, do you? You're more stupid than I thought. He'll never leave his wife. What does he want with a young kid? I bet he's had enough of kids already. Sleepless nights, dirty nappies, sick smells. No, young lady, he won't want any more of that, you mark my words.
He will marry me, he said he will. He's a good man. He's always treated me like a lady. You watch. I'll surprise you, I will. I'll come down into the kitchen and show off my rings right in front of you, and then you'll have to believe.
Come down into the kitchen? Do you mean what I think you mean? Oh, my poor girl. You are so stupid that I can't help feeling sorry for you. This isn't one of your silly films where everything ends happily ever after. This is real life. He'll never marry you, you mark my words.
Shut up, shut up, shut up! Leave me alone!
Oh, not interrupting anything, am I? Always showing up at the wrong time, that's me. Are you alright, Mary? You look upset. Are you feeling alright?
Oh.
You're looking very peaky. Oh, was it something I said, Mrs. T?
Oh, don't worry about it. The young girl's a little upset and under the weather.
Yeah, I thought so. Any tea going? I've got a mouth like a donkey's arse.
Mr. Smith, you won't talk like that and you'll get no tea for a week.
Oh, sorry, Mrs. T.
I should think so.
Anyway, what's wrong with our Mary then?
Well, it's for her to tell or for you to find out.
I'm trying to find out. I'm asking you. Come on, Mrs. T. Spill the beans.
She's got herself in the family way. Stupid girl.
Ah, poor lass. Anyone I know?
Beg your pardon?
Who's the father?
How should I know? You'll need to ask Mary.
You know everything, Mrs. T. Come on, who is it? Anyone I know? I bet it's not that scrawny lad she goes for pictures with. He doesn't look like he knows where to find it or what to do with it, even if he did. Is it that chap I've seen her with in the ship? Never seen him up close, but he looked older than her. Only saw them once, but they was very furtive. Stopped holding hands and went their separate ways when they saw me. I wonder. Now he looked like he knew where to find it and what to do with it. Oh yeah, I wonder. Now that is interesting. I wonder what that's worth.
I beg your pardon? Did I hear you correctly saying, what's it worth?
Yeah, I was just talking to myself.
Well, you'd better be careful. They say a little knowledge can be very dangerous. Although they do say that it takes one to know one.
Or very valuable. Depends on your perspective.
Exactly. Tavistock, 1932.
You what?
Tavistock, 1932. May 16th it was. That's what I call valuable knowledge. Your son Alex and Mrs.
Have you gone daft or what? You did say Tavistock, didn't you?
The belly's dropped.
Well, I don't know what you're talking about.
I do. And I'm sure there are at least 2 people in this house who know what I'm talking about. And one of those would pay a great deal for this information.
Oh, yeah.
In fact, I know they would. Especially as one of them has just come into a large sum of money.
Really?
Perhaps the other one might pay to keep the other from knowing that someone else knows their little secret. Knowledge is power.
Have you got bananas, Mrs. T? I ain't got a clue what you're talking about, and frankly, I don't really care.
Oh, you will. You will. Now, tea, Mr. Smith? 2 sugars? And now about a nice piece of cake to celebrate my forthcoming good fortune.
I'm expecting a phone call, so that'll be quick.
It's about Alice.
What about her?
Alice has been terribly upset since you and her had words earlier.
Well,
Do you know, I sometimes wonder if you have any feelings for others at all.
I beg your pardon.
How about you speak to your family, just like you do business contacts, without thinking, without listening, and without thinking what they're going to say.
Just a minute, young man. It's very rude to enter someone's private study and start berating them.
I know I'm only a stable lad, but Major Hall says I've got good prospects for being a jockey. I've had 3 winners this season, so telling Alice I'm localised is an insult to me and to her.
I don't think I said that to Alice. And be careful, young man, what you say.
Oh, I will. I've been rehearsing this for weeks now. I've got every word in my mind, checking if it fits what I mean to say.
Oh, get on with it then. I'm a busy man.
I'm an orphan, you know. That means my mother and father are dead.
Young man, I am not stupid.
My father died in war. A hero, or so they say. He had great nothing. So we took him free.
I know, I remember. I was there.
Where?
In the war. Different time for all of us.
For those in uniform, yes. They paid the ultimate sacrifice and were proud to do so. The others, well, their sacrifice was not as great. Indeed, the word sacrifice is an insult.
Boy, what is the point of all this twaddle?
When Dad was killed in 1914, he left us very little money. We struggled. The Huntmaster of West Norfolk was very good and found me work. Mum had to work in the Lord Nelson pulling pints, but then she got sick. At first I thought she was tired, but then she started to get worse.
So?
The doctor said she had an infection, a cut on her arm, and had gone septic and needed treatment. We tried everything. A red line began to creep up her arm. The doctor said it was getting worse. Only trouble was there was nothing he could give her.
Look, is all this terribly relevant?
Then the doctor came back. Said he might be able to get some stuff called penicillin. A miracle drug, he said. It was used by the Yanks, but difficult to get hold of. It was reserved for our troops.
The point, boy, the point!
The doctor said he knew someone who could get some of this wonder drug, but it would be expensive. I borrowed some money, and the doctor gave my mum some penicillin. But it wasn't penicillin. It was rubbish. Mum got worse. The line spread up her arm. She was in agony. And then she died.
Well, I'm very sorry, but what is the point, boy?
The point is I know who sold the doctor the fake penicillin. I followed him when he went to meet his supplier. I thought if I knew the supplier was, I could beg for Mum if I needed more. Of course, I never did. Mum died. Then a few months ago I saw the supplier for the first time since then. Didn't know who he was back then, but I never forget a face.
So?
You were the supplier. You gave the doctor the bottle of liquid which he injected into my mother. I watched her die. The doctor said it shouldn't have happened. Then he tested the stuff in the bottle, said it was salt water or something. I vowed one day I would find the supplier and make him feel as bad as my mother did.
Are you alright? Can't have a bump on the head, are you? Not fallen off your high horse recently?
Of course I'm alright. I've rehearsed this for weeks. Ever since I met Alice at the West Norfolk point to point, and you came across and asked who I was doing.
You've no evidence, boy. You're nothing but a stable lad. Who would believe you?
I have all the evidence I need.
I told Alice that you were beneath her. How right I was. You're nothing but a grubby little troublemaker. Get out of my house and don't set foot in it again. Get out! Get out before I...
You what? Shoot me? Waving an old gun at me is hardly going to change my opinion of you. I bet it's not even loaded. You better hide it back in your desk before your family sits, you weak, foolish man!
Get out! Hello? Richard Maltravers here. Ah, Mr. Peters. How kind of you to call back so promptly. Yes. Yes? I see. So it could only be a matter of days before everything is settled, is that so? Oh, yes. Wait, Karen. Certainly. No, she hasn't appointed Warren. I look after all the financial matters. Don't like to worry about such things. Yes. Yes, of course. What a good idea. Yes, a cheque will be fine. Payable to Richard Maltravers, Esquire.
Richard, why did John rush past me? Is he upset? What have you said?
Shh, darling. That's excellent. Oh, I look forward from hearing from you. Caroline, how many times have I told you not to interrupt me when I'm on the telephone? It's terribly important I don't make a mistake, otherwise I could lose a lot of money. Next time, wait.
Why is John upset? Is it to do with Alice? She hinted that there could be some jolly good news this evening. Did John ask if he could marry Alice?
Yes.
And?
I told him that a stable lad or even a jockey is not the type of son-in-law we had in mind. He's disappointed, but I'm sure he'll see reason and move on.
We had in mind? I know that John is not a financial success or leading member of local society, but his heart's in the right place.
Look, darling, it is for the best. You will thank me when Alice marries someone who will make a success of their life.
Don't you think it would have been polite to have talked to me about this before you told John he was not wanted?
It isn't like that, darling. What I said was for the best. You'll see.
No, I don't see. It's cold in here. You must get Mary to look at the fire. I think it needs rebuilding. Speaking of Mary, did you know she is expecting?
Mary?
Yes, our maid.
I know who Mary is.
Apparently, she's got it into her head that the father of the child wants her to get rid of it. Did you say that to her?
What?
Did you say